Another day, jumped about the bed, hit my knees and had to pray. Ask him to leave me out of Satan on the prey. So send your angel, he can guide me on my way. He made it where I remember days that look kinda dim. I can't complain, every breath, yeah, I owe to him. So simmer down, it be better days that come around. A living dog is better than being underground. Let me expound, the breath of life is in your lungs. On top of that, the Father sent his only son. But you forgot, no, every day we gotta give thanks. So put your hands up and get the Lord all the praise. If you're happy and you know what we do, clap, clap. If the Lord been good to you, what we do, clap, clap. You know the devil bound to lose, what we do, clap, clap. You don't like a need to move, what we do, clap, clap. If you're happy and you know what we do, clap, clap. If the Lord been good to you, what we do, clap, clap. You know the devil bound to lose, what we do, clap, clap. You don't like a need to move, what we do, clap, clap. You say you're happy where your face it really show. You could be sick or dead, let somewhere off in the more. So thank the Lord and keep the peace up in your space. Don't start a trip until and get it about your face. Mercy and grace, the reason we still in the fight. And in the end, it's guaranteed to get a little tight. Do it at night, the joy is coming in the morning. It's getting close, just look around at all the warnings. I must admit sometimes I feel like I just wanna quit. Keep insanity, eternal life I'm trying to get. Realize I'm tripping, get these deeper thoughts about my brain. Reminisce about the days that brought me through the rain. You happy and you know what we do? Clap, clap. If the love been good to you, what we do? Clap, clap. You know the devil bound to lose, what we do? Clap, clap. You don't like a need to move, what we do? Clap, clap. If you're happy and you know what we do? Clap, clap. If the love been good to you, what we do? Clap, clap. You know the devil bound to lose, what we do? Clap, clap. You don't like a need to move, what we do? Clap, clap.
Young, gifted, and black. Young, gifted, and black. Young, gifted, and black. Young, gifted, and black is in my bloodline. From Abraham, Isaac to Jacob. Is in my bloodline. From Abraham, Isaac to Jacob. Listen up, young black man. Let me put you on some choice words that was once told from days old on how we had it. It was so cold. Neck and teeth, that's pure gold. No jump shot. A lot of stop. We were the priests, no need for cops. We had the land, it needed block, and it don't stop. From Abraham, let's keep it going. From Isaac, then Jacob. We got roughed up by an angel, but stay solid. Touch the hit right out the socket, and it makes sense. And ever since, even to this day, walk with a limp. It runs deep, you're not a pimp. But down the line, it got flipped. We disobeyed and flipped the script. Our heritage got hijacked. They ate the fat and waxed rich. What we had, it was all stripped. Out of sight and out of mind. One day, we'll see the sign on who we are. It'll blow your mind. Young, gifted, and black. Young, gifted, and black. Young, gifted, and black. Young, gifted, and black is in my bloodline. From Abraham, Isaac to Jacob. Is in my bloodline. From Abraham, Isaac to Jacob. Young, gifted, and black. Young, gifted, and black. Young, gifted, and black. Young, gifted, and black is in my bloodline. From Abraham, Isaac to Jacob. Is in my bloodline. From Abraham, Isaac to Jacob. So many tears throughout the years, gloomy days and nightmares. That black skin, they straight fed. That black fist can none compare. These shoes here, get your own pair. No dollar signs for these sweat tears. Bloodshed, paint the flow red. Go Taliban, mess with my fam. No pork, but I go ham. From NY to the promised land. Pyramids on top of sand. We built that, and that's no cap. In America from the ground up. I gotta sit in the back of the bus. Rosa Parks said, hell nah, I'm sitting here, and that's up front. We lost that way back with cheap beer and so crack to everyone with the same face. Raising kids with self-hate, low self-esteem, and a lot of trauma. Baby daddies and baby mamas, take a seat, we are unique. This bloodline, it runs deep. Young, gifted, and black.
you understand this one concept, you can build a six-figure coding career within the next
Yeah. Bitch can't walk like me. No, you can't. Bitch can't talk like me. Can you live like me? Can't do it. Forget like me. Bitch can't walk like me. Walk. Bitch can't talk like me. Talk. Stay me like me. Stay me like me. Get a P like me. Get a P like me. Bitch can't walk like me. No, you can't. Bitch can't talk like me. Can you live like me? Can't do it. Forget like me. Bitch can't walk like me. Walk. Bitch can't talk like me. Talk. Stay me like me. Stay me like me. Get a P like me. Look in the mirror, trying to be a better man. Choo choo train, I think I can. Fight when the devil trying to spoil my plans. Got me in his web like Spider-Man. Get in the word, I'ma break his grip. Quick on the draw, book on my hip. Keep me in line, never start the trip. Miss sometimes I can run my lips. Any man telling me to tighten up food. Can't get mad if you're telling the truth. Wanna be better, we can all improve. Trying to get right, God got work to do. Two little mercy, mix it with patience. Treat my brother with a little more grace. When it comes to the word, trying to be great. Wanna walk in the kingdom, do whatever it takes. Bitch can't walk like me. No, you can't. Bitch can't talk like me. Can you live like me? Can't do it. Forget like me. Bitch can't walk like me. Walk. Bitch can't talk like me. Talk. Stay me like me. Stay me like me. Get a P like me. Get a P like me. Bitch can't walk like me. No, you can't. Bitch can't talk like me. Can you live like me? Can't do it. Forget like me. Bitch can't walk like me. Walk. Bitch can't talk like me. Talk. Stay me like me. Stay me like me. Get a P like me. Take my pride, let it down. Trying to get a piece when it come around. Get at least thoughts cause I'm hearing every sound. Devil so slick, trying to keep me hell bound. Time like funny, like me kicking my legs. Things that do try to get in my head. Tell me I'm the man, making murmurs fed. Staying up tall, stick at your chest. Let's get about the way for you, cause me to sin. I'ma love my neighbors and respect my friend. Looking at the prize coming at the end. Wanna good y'all, don't break, don't bend. Take a little diva, gotta test my faith. Told you last time, gotta check my ways. I ain't trying to mess around and lose my place. That's I myself, be a castaway. Bitch can't walk like me. No, you can't. Bitch can't talk like me. Can you live like me? Can't do it. Forget like me. Bitch can't walk like me. Walk. Bitch can't talk like me. Talk. Stay me like me. Stay me like me. Get a P like me. Get a P like me. Bitch can't walk like me. No, you can't. Bitch can't talk like me. Can you live like me? Can't do it. Forget like me. Bitch can't walk like me. Walk. Bitch can't talk like me. Talk. Stay me like me. Stay me like me. Get a P like me. Live by the word, live by the word. None of y'all legit, none of y'all legit. Came in the truth, came in the truth. I can't tell you shit, I can't tell you shit. So you grown up now, got all the answers, got all the answers. I'ma stop this before it spread like cancer, spread like cancer. Live by the word, live by the word. None of y'all legit, none of y'all legit. Came in the truth, came in the truth. I can't tell you shit, I can't tell you shit. So you grown up now, got all the answers, got all the answers. I'ma stop this before it spread like cancer, spread like cancer. See, my job is to keep the sheep. Pretending for the people that creep, really don't like to eat, yeah they do. So I'ma stay on my job like Steve. Sleeping for the preacher that's lame, that lame. Only want the money and the fame, You can tell about the fruits that it bear, No, I ain't gotta call no name. Hate it when they give it to you raw. I'm like a pig, ain't nobody getting off. Need to get yeah, I counted a cup, 1, 2. I'm a priest from the north to the south. If the shoe fits some of y'all teeth, what it needs, they probably need to watch they mouth. Still, I'ma pull it on.
Show no mercy when it comes to the word. See, this ain't about no fade, but it's about who you gonna serve. Just do your best, gotta stay on track. You see, the life gets stiff like we. Some praying and then y'all fall back. Being about the word, hey, now that y'all legit. This is came and true. Can't tell you. See, growing up now, got all the answers. And we stop this. We'll spread like cancer. Being about the word, now that y'all legit. This came and true. Can't tell you. Got all the answers. I'ma stop this. We'll spread like cancer. Some say y'all. Just stick to the book. You ain't never gonna fit. I'm all about reading. But it gotta make sense. But it gotta make sense though. Wanna fight? I'm about it, dog. Let me seal it up in the law. Now I'm getting deep raw. Straight to the head, no chest, take that. We can get on the phone. We can get face to face. You know what it is. Don't be a bitch about talking that shh. Let me get a word. My only focus is people getting served. Wave with lies, oh man, wow. Let them juke from butterflies. Show them getting low in the sky, but I ask somebody. Alright, we finna get into it, y'all. Hold up. Let me switch up the music real quick. Man, I don't care about no Herschel Walker.
There's no exception in my mind. I cannot do it.
Herschel ain't walking around here.
Film degrees at Full Sail University puts the tools in your hands
Come on, dog.
artistic vision and become a creative story.
Alright, bet. Now make sure we're recording and bet. Peace, y'all. Good morning. Nice Monday. Hope y'all having a good morning. We're here. Welcome to the morning brew, y'all. We here to start the day off right, get into a little word. So last time we was here, we went through Genesis, chapter 7 through 9, and hold on, let me just backtrack just to give them a little overview. Oh yeah, we went through the flood of Noah, and right after the flood, when Noah and them got out the ark. So now we're pretty much about to continue on through the line of Noah. So Genesis chapter 10, that's gonna take us into the table of nations. Like if if you don't come from one of these three sons of Noah, then you pretty much don't exist on earth, right? Because everyone comes from the three sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, because everyone beforehand was drowned, killed in the flood. So we're gonna start at Genesis 10 and verse 1. But before I get into any of that, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to the God of Israel, who made all this possible. Y'all, woke us up this morning, gave us the breath of life, woke us up in our right mind. So, we're gonna give him a little praise. So let's get into his word. So we're going to start at Genesis 10 and verse 1. It says, Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were sons born after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, Magog, Madai, and Javan, Tubal, and Meshach, and Tyrus. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Riphath, and Torgamah. And the sons of Javan, Elisha, and Tarshish, and Kittim, and Dodanim. By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, every one after his tongue, after their families, in their nations. So right here, we starting to see the Gentiles come into place. You know, like a lot of people say, like, if you're not a Jew, then you're a Gentile, but that's not the case, because we clearly see here that a Gentile is someone specifically from the seed line of Japheth, right? Because it says what the sons of Japheth, Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshach, Tyrus, right? But in verse 5 it says, By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, everyone after his tongue, after their families and their nations. So Like, so if you're technically a Gentile, technically you just come from the seed line of Japheth, right? Now I want to see if this helps us, um, you know, pinpoint who these sons are today, because I get a little confused when it comes to the Gentiles. If I'm not mistaken, I feel like Gomer's around like Germany, maybe, but I'm not certain on that. Don't quote me. Let's see if we can get a little more. No, it's just giving cross references. Let's see. It says the eldest son of Japheth, the father of Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Togarmah, whose descendants form the principal branch of population of the southeastern Europe. Okay. He is generally regarded as the ancestor of the Celtae and the Cimmeri. Hold up. Let me look that up. Okay, so when I look up the Celtae, that's pretty much like the Celtic folks. Cimmeri. Let me look that up real quick. Give me 1 second, y'all. Gotta switch the screen. All right, so Cimmerians. The Cimmerians were an ancient Eastern Iranian equestrian nomadic people originating from the Caspian steppe, who subsequently migrated into Western Asia and into Central and Southeast Europe. So let's see if we can pinpoint that on the map. Okay, okay. So they kind of went around here. You see, they were around like the Scythians. Who else? And they're above Babylon. It says I guess they migrated around. Oh, so they migrated over here into Ferga and also downward around Elam in Assyria. Okay, so now we got a little bit of a pinpoint on who Gomer is, right? Hold up. Let me switch back to the Bible, y'all. That ain't the right thing. Alright, bet. Okay, so back to the Bible. Now we seen Gomer, Magog. Let's see who that attributes us to. Because if I'm not mistaken, Magog is like, it should be like Russia, right? Madai would be the Medes, which would be the The Persians. There we go. There we go. Javan. Javan, he's gonna be the progenitor of the Greeks. I know that one for a fact. And like one of the sons of Javan will be Kittim. And Kittim is from Kittim will actually become Rome, right? So let's keep going though. We we um we done went through the isles of the Gentiles, divided in their lands, everyone after his tongue, after their families and their nations. So now let's continue with verse 6. It says, hold up, excuse me. It says, and the sons of Ham, Cush, Mizraim, Phut, and Canaan, and the sons of Cush, Seba, and Havilah, and Sabta, and Raamah, and Sabtika, and the sons of Raamah, Sheba, and Dedan. And Cush begat Nimrod, and he began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord, wherefore it was said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. In the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Erech, and Akkad, and Calneh, in the land of Shinar. Out of that land went forth Ashtur, and builded Nineveh, and the city of Rehoboth, and Calah, and Resen, between Nineveh and Calah, the same as a great city. And Mizraim begat Ludim, and Anamim, and Lehabim, and Naphtuhim, and Pathrusim, and Kesluhim, out of whom came Philistim, and Caphtorim. And Canaan begat Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth, and the Jebusite, and the Amorite, and the Girgashite, and the Hivite, and the Archite, and the Sinite, and the Arvidite, and the Zimmerite, and the Hamathite. And afterward were the families of the Canaanites spread abroad. And the border of the Canaanites was from Sidon, as thou comest unto Gerar, unto Gaza, as thou goest unto Sodom and Gomorrah, and Admah, and Zeboim, even unto Lasha. These are the sons of Ham, after their families, after their tongues, in their countries, in their nations. So now we got the sons of Ham now. And it's giving us the main sons of Ham, Cush, Mizraim, Phut, and Canaan. Cush is gonna refer you to Ethiopia or the Ethiopians, right? Mizraim, that's gonna refer you toward Egypt, right? Phut, if I'm not mistaken, that's gonna be like Libya or something like that. Yep. And Canaan, that's who inhabited the land of Israel before Israel came. So it's like technically Israel still settled in the African continent, because it's like they had to take down the sons of Ham, and we clearly see here that the sons of Ham made up the Africans. If you know, if you got the Ethiopians come out of Ham, the Egyptians come out of Ham, the Libyans come out of Ham, now the Canaanites coming out of Ham, right? And out of Ethiopia, from the Ethiopians you get Nimrod, and Nimrod is gonna be a mighty one in the earth. He's gonna have great fame, great stature, right? So let's continue in verse 21. It says, unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth the older, even to him were children born. And we got this word Eber, right? Because it says unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, right? So Shem, he was the father of the children of Eber. But the word Eber, the name Eber, that's where you get the word Hebrew from, right? But let's keep going. I'm getting a little ahead. I feel like I'm getting a little ahead of myself. But it says, unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth the elder, even to him were children born. And verse 22, the children of Shem, Elam and Asher and Arphaxad and Lud and Aram. And the children of Aram, Uz and Hul and Gether and Mash. And Arphaxad begat Salah, and Salah begat Eber. And unto Eber were born two sons. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided. And his brother's name was Joktan. And Joktan begat Almadad, and Saleph, and Hazar Mavaleth, and Jerah, and Hadoram. Yeah, Hadoram, that's what it is. Dang, I lost my spot. Oh, 27. And Hadoram, and Uzal, and Dikla, and Obal, and Abimael, and Sheba, and Ophir, and Havilah, and Jobab. All these were the sons of Joktan, and their dwelling was from Mesha, as thou goest unto Sephar, a mount of the east. These are the sons of Shem, after their families, after their tongues, in their lands, after their nations. So now we done been through the sons of Japheth of the Gentiles, the sons of Ham, and now the sons of Shem. Verse 32, these are the families of the sons of Noah, after their generations, in their nations. And by these were the nations divided in the earth after the flood. And previously we see that Eber had two sons, Peleg and Joktan. And um and one's name was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided. So around the time Peleg was around or born maybe, then that's when the earth, got split, like the languages got confounded, right? Because we're about to read about the nations being divided and stuff like that from this Tower of Babel in the next chapter. So let's go into chapter 11, and we're going to start this at verse 1. And it says, and the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. So everybody was speaking the same language at this time. Like I know we just read the table of nations and stuff, and it says, they all separated, after their families, after their nations and stuff. But this, that's after they were separated, in the at the Tower of Babel. And it says, and the whole earth was of one language and one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, go to, and let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach up to heaven. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. But now, mind you, God told them to be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth, not stay in one spot. Like the Lord wanted them to actually scatter, spread, and not stay in one concentrated area. And other sources, like I ain't gonna say it's factual because I can't read it scripturally, but other sources tell you that they built a tower just in case the Lord decided to want to flood the earth again, that they can withstand the flood, they can be over the flood, right? But it says, verse 4, and they said, go to, let us build a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven. So they want the top of it to reach to heaven. And let us make us a name, So they want the top of they building to reach to heaven, and then they want to have a name, right? Lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. Continuing to verse 5. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they all have one language. And this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So let's mess up the languages so they can't understand one another. They was probably like, "Hey, yo, pass me the brick real quick," and dude was like, "Huh?" And I said, dude probably like asked him like, "What'd you say?" And then dude was probably like, "I asked you for the skim, we it kind of just switched up on him out of nowhere, and dude was probably like I asked you for a brick. I asked you for a brick, and now you come and talking all this gibberish. You know, like that's kind of how I just imagine it. But that really would be kind of frustrating. But the ones that could speak the same language and stuff, I guess they all went their own separate ways. That's why it says so. Uh, Let us go down and there confound their speech, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore, is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the languages of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. So from the Tower of Babel, that's where everyone scattered. Everyone wanted to be centralized and stick together in one area. Nah, Lord said to scatter and spread abroad. Hey, that's what He wants you to do. But let's continue in verse 10. Verse 10, it says, And these are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begat Arphaxad 2 years after the flood. Shem Shem lived after he begat Arphaxad 500 years and begat sons and daughters. And Arphaxad lived 530 years and begat Selah. And Arphaxad lived after he begat Selah 403 years and begat sons and daughters. And Selah lived 30 years and begat Eber. And Selah lived after he begat Eber 403 years and begat sons and daughters. And Eber lived 430 years and begat Peleg. Eber lived after he begat Peleg 430 years and begat sons and daughters. And Peleg lived 30 years and begat Reu. And Peleg lived after he begat Reu 209 years and begat sons and daughters. And Reu lived 230 years and begat Serug. And Reu lived after he begat Serug 207 years and begat sons and daughters. And Serug lived 30 years and begat Nahor. And Serug lived after he begat Nahor 200 years and begat sons and daughters. So now it's pretty much starting to take us from Shem to Abraham. That's where we gonna end up. Like we seen the table of nations, you know. We seen that these are descendants of Shem. So why are we going through them again, right? Because it's not trying to give us the whole lineage of Shem again. It's trying to outline the lineage from when Shem got off the ark all the way down to Abraham, because then that's where the next part of the story is gonna pick up. And we starting to see names like Nahor and stuff like that. And Nahor and Terah, these are um uh ancestors to Abraham. These are like his father and his granddaddy. So it says in verse 24, and Nahor lived 9 and 20 years and begat Terah. And Nahor lived after he begat Terah 119 years and begat sons and daughters. And Terah lived 70 years and begat Abram and Nahor and Haran. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Nahor and Haran. And Haran begat Lot. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity, in Ur of the Chaldees. And Abram and Nahor took them wives. And the name of Abram's wife was Sarah, and the name of Nahor's wife Milcah, and the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, the father of Iscah. But Sarai was barren and had no child. And Terah took Abram his son, and Lot, and Lot the son of Haran his son's son, and Sarai his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife. And they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan. And they came unto Haran and dwelt there. And the days of Terah were 205 years. Terah died in Haran. So now, like I said earlier, we done went from Shem all the way to Abram, right? And like it's like the Lord is doing it like that because like we seen that He established the covenant with Noah, and now that covenant is about to go on through Abraham, or Abram as he's now called. You know, he ain't gonna become Abraham until he actually gets the promise from God. But let's continue on into chapter 12. And it says, now the Lord had said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. So now it's pretty much telling him to leave his homeland and go pretty much wherever he shows him. And this is pretty much going to be the promised land, the land of Israel. And it says, verse 2, and I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed. So Abram departed, as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. And Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran. And they went forth to go into the land of Canaan. And into the land of Canaan they came. And Abram passed through the land unto the place of Sychem, unto the plain of Moreh. And the Canaanite was then in the land. So now the Lord is pretty much telling Abram to journey into the land of Canaanites, because that's the land that his seed is eventually gonna inhabit. That's the land his seed is eventually gonna inhabit. So it's like that's why the Lord is getting them out his home country and pretty much bringing them into the country of promise before he even promises it to him. But where did I leave off at? Okay, verse 7. Verse 7 it says, and the Lord appeared unto Abram and said, unto thy seed will I give this land. And there he builded an altar unto the Lord who appeared unto him. And he removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west and Hai on the east. And there he builded an altar unto the Lord. And he called upon the name of the Lord. And Abram journeyed, going on still toward the south. And there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down into Egypt to sojourn there. So it's like he passed through the land of Canaan, but there's a famine in the land of Canaan. So now he got to go down into Egypt, right? For the famine was very grievous in the land. Verse 11. And it came to pass when he was come near to enter into Egypt, that he said unto Sarai his wife, Behold now, I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. Therefore it shall come to pass, when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say, Take his wife. I mean, this is his wife. And they will kill me, but they will save thee alive. So now, like Abram's pretty much like telling his wife, look, when we go through these cities, look, tell him. Oh wait, hold on. He's saying like I know that when we go through these cities, like you're a pretty girl to look upon. So it might come to pass that they might kill me just to try to take you from me. And he says, verse 13, say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. So it's like, look, just so they don't kill me, tell them that you're my sister. They might believe it and leave both of us alone. All right. So he said, my soul lived because of thee. Verse 14, and it came to pass that when Abram was come into Egypt, the Egyptians beheld the woman, that she was very fair. The princes also of Pharaoh saw her, and commended her before Pharaoh. And the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. So now the people of the land of the people of Egypt, they looking at Sarai like, dang, she kind of fine. And they took her up to Pharaoh. Verse 16, it says, and he entreated Abraham well for her sake, and he had sheep and oxen, and he asses, and men servants and maid servants, and she asses and camels. So I mean, it's like it ain't like Pharaoh just took her out, like he actually tried. So he actually tried to pay, to give something of value. He was like, dang, what what it got to take for me to get her? I'm gonna send some sheep, some oxen, some asses, some servants, some camels. But what happened to Pharaoh though? Verse 17. Verse 17 it says, and the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarai, Abram's wife. So even though Pharaoh was ignorant to it, like the Lord still hit him a little bit just for the sake of that's somebody else's wife. And Pharaoh called Abram and said, What is this that thou hast done unto me? And why didst thou not tell me that she was thy wife? Why saidst thou, She is my sister? So I might have taken her to me to wife. Now therefore, behold thy wife, take her and go thy way. And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him that they sent him away and his wife and all that he had. So he didn't do nothing with Sarai and ended up sending them away with all the stuff that he ended up giving Abel, right? And I was gonna end it at chapter 12, but I, I'm gonna do one more verse because my bro Cephas, he was like, look, if you read 4 chapters a day, you'll get through the Bible in a year. So I think I might do that. I might when I'm doing the morning brew, I also got one I want to do. I want to do at nighttime called like something like the night light or something like that, because we supposed to be the light of the world. But yeah, like I'm gonna try to do 4 instead of 3. That might give us a lot more ground to work on. And again, if we do four a day, then that means in a year we would have gotten through the whole Bible, God willing. So let's continue on into Chapter 13. Hold up. Now I gotta change. Now I gotta change up my title and all that. Give me 1 second. Although I really could just do that when I'm done. Yeah, I'm gonna do that when I'm done. Let me not get too ahead of myself. But continuing into chapter 13, it says, and Abram went up out of Egypt, he and his wife and all that he had, and Lot with him into the south. And Abram was very rich in cattle, in silver, and in gold. And he went on his journeys from the south, even to Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Hai. Now, I know some folks they'll take this and be like, see the promised land ain't ain't where Israel is now. It's somewhere in mainland Africa because it said from Egypt, Abram went south, right? But it's like, yeah, Abram went south a little bit, but then it says in verse 3, and he went on his journeys from the south. So he left the south and went to Bethel, back to the land of the Canaanites. So it's like you can't even use that to say that it was mainland Africa because it says he went from the south. So it's like he didn't go like it said prior that he went to the south. And he went up out of Egypt, his wife and all that he had, and Lot with him into the south. Abram was very rich in cattle and in silver and in gold, and he went on his journeys from the south even to Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning, back to where to when the Lord called him up out of the land of Ur of the Chaldees, right? Verse 4. Oh wait, and it says between Bethel and Hai, and unto the place of the altar which he had made there at the first. And there Abram called on the name of the Lord. And Lot also, which went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents, and the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together, for their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together. So it's like they got it's Abram and Lot, and they got too many people, too many servants, and too many cattle to at least to dwell together. They probably they was probably getting agitated. Like, man, every time I turn around, I'm bumping elbows with somebody. It's too many people. It's too much cattle, right? So it says, verse 6, and the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together, for their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together. Verse 7, and there was a strife between the herdmen of Abram's cattle and the herdmen of Lot's cattle. And the Canaanite and the Perizzite dwelled then in the land. And Abram said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdmen and thy herdmen, for we be brethren. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right. Or if thou depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left. So, like, it was like, look, land's too big. Let's separate a little bit. Let's get some room. So, like, look, if you go to the left, I'm gonna go to the right. If you go to the right, I'm gonna go to the left. But definitely from this point, we are going to split. So, continuing on in verse 10, it says, and Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt, as thou comest unto Zoar. Then Lot chose him all the plain of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves, the one from the other. Abram dwelled in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelled in the cities of the plain, and pitched his tent toward Sodom. But the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord exceedingly. And the Lord said unto Abram, after that Lot was separated from him, lift up now thine eyes, and look from the place where thou art, northward and southward and eastward and westward, because we see that in verse 12, Abram dwelled in the land of Canaan. So he was already in the land of Canaan, right? So Abraham standing in the land of Canaan, and Lord said to him, look you to the north and to the south and to the east and to the west. So imagine I'm standing in the land of Canaan. You okay, let me look to the north, and look toward the south, look toward the east, and look toward the west. Okay. Verse 15, it says, for all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever. So like this is where that promise comes in to Abraham, or I keep calling him Abraham. I mean, we all know who we talking about, but right now we talking about Abram. But yeah, he promised Abram like just take a look around you. Everything that you see, this whole land, I'm gonna give it to you, and to thy seed forever. And verse 16 it says, and I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered. So it was like, look, I'm gonna give you so many descendants, bro. If you can count the sands on earth, then you can count your children. But can't nobody count the sand on earth. So no one can count the children of Israel. And we gonna see that in another part. I think when we get toward like Kings or Chronicles, when David ends up numbering Israel, but that was an abomination, because Israel couldn't be numbered like that, because God said like they was gonna be like the sand of the sea or like the stars of the sky. If you can number any of them, then you can number the children of Israel, but you can't number them. So uh verse 16 again, he said, I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered. Verse 17, arise, walk through the land in the length of it, and in the breadth of it, for I will give it unto thee. And Abram removed his tent, and came and dwelt in the plain of Mamre, which is in Hebron, and built there an altar unto the Lord. So now we see the promise that's been given to Abraham. So now next time we get up in here, Lord willing, we'll get into chapters 14, 15, 16, and 17. And that should where should that take us? You know what? I ain't even I guess we just gonna see when we get there. But I pray somebody got some understanding. I thank you for your time. I thank you for coming here, being with me as we give praises and glory to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And as we learn about our God. So yeah, hope we started off the day well, and I hope y'all hope y'all have a good day, and hope this charged you up for the day spiritually. And I pray to see y'all back here again tomorrow. In Jesus' name. Peace.